यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री राधा मुरलीधर की जय, श्री गौर चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Okay, so let me just share the screen. Right, okay. So we are reading today from Canto 11, Chapter 3, verse number 8. Dhatu paplava asane vyaktam dravya gunatmakam anadi nidhana kalo hi avyaktaya parkshati. Translation and purport by the very humble disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the annihilation of the material elements is imminent, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in His form of eternal time, withdraws the manifest cosmos, consisting of gross and subtle features, and the entire universe vanishes into non-manifestation. Purport. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapildev teaches that the material nature originally exists in an inert state of equilibrium called pradhan. When Lord Vishnu casts his potent glance in the form of kal or time, material interactions take place, culminating in the variegated creation of the material cosmos. In this verse, it is stated that at the end of universal time, the same kal that originally incited the female nature into manifestation again withdraws the cosmos into its original state of inert non-manifestation. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the time potency itself, Kal, is then withdrawn and it merges into the Supreme Soul who manifests himself as the original cause of material nature, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The second paragraph, which is there with the purport, we'll read it later when the time comes. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So welcome everyone to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, and I would like to seek the blessings of all the assembled devotees here in person as well as online, and to especially to our senior devotees, Arjuna Prabhu. Wow, I do miss Adi Purush Prabhu. Um, Wherever he is, I hope he's doing well. Hope to have his association soon. Okay, so let's start with our discussion. So this we're on the 11th canto now. All the leelas have come to an end in canto 10, and now we are dealing with a canto which deals heavily on philosophy. And out of the 10 themes of Srimad Bhagavatam, it deals primarily with Nirodh and Mukti. So there are 10 themes of Bhagavatam. Like Canto 10 is the Ashraya. It deals with the Ashraya theme primarily of Bhagavatam. And 11 deals with destruction and liberation. And especially in today's verse, these two are very primarily heavily discussed. Chapters 2 to 5 are the discussions of the Navayogendras, the 9 Yogendras, with their answers, uh, uh, which are they answer several questions, which are asked by Maharaj Nimi, who's the king of Videha. And in this chapter in particular, Shri Antariksh is answering the first few set of questions. And his response to Maharaj Nimi's question on Maya or the material energy is from verses 3 to 16. So verses 3 to 4 discussed a lot on the creation, not a lot, very briefly on creation and the reasons for the creation of the material universe. And verses 5 to 7 speak about how the living entities go through this entanglement of material birth and death again and again. And almost like helplessly, a soul is carried into different species of life again and again, again and again, till the time the universe is deals with its destruction. The time for the destruction comes again. So in verse 7, this is what Shri Antariksh is speaking about, like from Sarga to Pralaya, the same entanglement of the different species, they're taking birth and death again and again and again, bhutva bhutva praliyate, as mentioned by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So this is the cue for us to shift from now the creation and the maintenance to destruction. So verse 8 speaks about the destruction of the universe. And here, this is the manifest universe consisting of gross and subtle, dravya and guna. It becomes unmanifest now. And this is done by the time factor, which is Krishna. Krishna, in the form of time, does this destruction. He withdraws the time factor totally and subtly. And that is how the cosmos comes to an end. We also see a reference to the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam on how the creation takes place. The Pradhan through the glance of Mahavishnu. And we see that this all doesn't happen in the spiritual world. There is no creation and destruction there. But I think before we understand destruction, I just want to briefly touch upon creation, because I think it's such a confusing aspect of this whole bundle of how creation and destruction takes place can be very confusing sometimes. So I'm just going to very briefly explain it through a PPT. It's not much, just some little brief things. Okay. I think you all can see the PPT now, right? Okay. I'm going to just let it be on this mode. I'm not going to, okay, maybe I could change it into a slideshow. Okay, forget all. I don't think I can be able to do that. So over here, we see that this is Karna Dakshai Vishnu. Karna Dakshai Vishnu is also known as Mahavishnu. So we'll refer to him as Mahavishnu from now for ease of terminology. Mahavishnu lies on the causal ocean. Causal means the reason, cause. And from his body, several universes come out. We can see in this picture, so many universes are coming out from the pores of his body. You see all these little small circles here. They all are different universes. And all of this is just like right now in the picture, it seems that, okay, you know what, there is like some creation that's happened inside this little ball that has happened. But this ball is initially not like a ball or like not an anda or an egg as how it's described. what happens is that this all, whatever comes out from the, from the universal, from the body of this Mahavishnu, it is just like a gross unmanifested form known as Pradhan. Okay, this thing over here will properly show how this whole process of creation takes place. So material nature is first in the form of Pradhan. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm not able to see it over here. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you, Manohar. Prabhu. So this whole Pradhan is the total gross unmanifested nature. Now see, for us to understand all these terms will be very difficult because we are used to seeing a form and everything, very properly in its shape, smell, touch. We're used to these senses. But before any of this is created, everything is just like all the material elements are just in this Pradhan state, where it is just, it's like just like a khichdi. Nothing has its like true shape. Then Lord Vishnu, this Mahavishnu, he casts his glance on this Pradhan. And once he casts his glance in this Pradhan, he impregnates this Pradhan with jivas. That is with us living entities who were not able to liberate themselves from this material manifestation when this universe was created the previous time. So this I'm talking about is creation of the universe, okay? So this is just that. And he impregnates not only the living entities, he also infuses the time factor into this Pradhan. And then because of this infusion of jivas, of the living entities, and the time factor, this Pradhan converts into Mahatattva. Now it is like it is having some, a little bit kind of, it's like now it's in manifestation form. It's manifested to some extent. From this Mahatattva comes Ahankar. Ahankar is the false ego. So I'll talk about the egos a little bit. We have something known as a real ego and a false ego. A real ego is our more permanent nature, that we are a child, or we have come out from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our real permanent identity. We have a false identity attached to us, and because of that false identity, we come to this material world. The jiva is originally pure, but because of this thinking that we are separate from Krishna, that we want to lord it over the material nature, we come under the influence of false ego. Okay, and this false ego itself is divided at the time of creation into goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, and now this is also known as sattva, rajas, and tamas. Okay, so in this what you might call, in this ignorance, we have the, what comes out from this ahankar in the form of tamas, the five elements, or like earth, wait, it's just written, I've just written it, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And then the tanmatra. So tanmatra is like the sense of smell, the sense of touch, our sight, sound, taste. This is all what comes out from ignorance. From passion, the pran comes out. Prans means the five types of airs which are necessary for, it's there in every body of every species. We have five kinds of primary airs and then another five kinds of secondary airs. So these kind of airs are now generated. And buddhi is intelligence. And from prana and buddhi come out are together the five senses of action and the five senses of knowledge, like hands, legs, and the eyes, nose, tongue, etc. From the mode of goodness comes out the mind. And then also the 10 important devtas, or the demigods, who are going to dictate or who are in charge of this action of the senses of action and the senses of knowledge, which are generated in passion. Now we might think that why is mind over here, and why is mind and goodness, why is buddhi or intelligence and passion, isn't buddhi or intelligence, isn't that supposed to be more higher than the mind, because it's said that the intelligence is supposed to guide the mind? The reason why mind is here is because the mind is the seat of emotions, feelings, desires, and buddhi is more like a rational, straight thinking. Whatever decisions we take in our life rationally, through logical analysis. It comes through this intelligence. So intelligence is necessary for us to understand that yes, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. But once that intellectual part is done, the mind has to now start feeling emotions towards Krishna. It has to start feeling that love, that desire to want to serve Krishna. So the mind is more like a restless child. Buddhi is more like a teacher trying to guide the mind. But ultimately, it is the mind that is going to link itself, the emotions that are going to link itself on a material level to Krishna. Initially, the mind is trying to link itself to Krishna. And obviously, the soul is ever connected. But once we get the mind in control, then everything falls in place. So, anyways, I just wanted to give this very, very brief thing on how this creation takes place. And this is like, again, like a little bit, it's all still a bit khichdi state. And from this khichdi state, like everything mixed together, it comes in the form of, this, what you now see on the screen, this universe is formed, this whole round thing that, like oval thing that you see over here. And, then the different 14 planetary systems are created over here with time. So in this universe, first Mahavishnu again comes in this universe in the form of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. From his navel, first Lord Brahma is created. And Lord Brahma does the secondary creation. The first creation is done by Mahavishnu called Sarga, and the secondary creation is done by Lord Brahma, which is known as Visarga. So Lord Brahma is given intelligence by this Garbhodakshay Vishnu lying in the Garbhodak ocean in our universe. This is all happening now in the universe. Mahavishnu is outside the universe. Garbhodakashay Vishnu is in the universe. And with the intelligence given by this Garbhodakshay Vishnu, he creates these, Lord Brahma creates these 14 planetary systems. And the reason I'm telling you about these 14 planetary systems is because we will see that how different types of annihilations affect all of these different planetary systems. So we have Bhurlok, which is the earth plane. This is somewhere where we are. And then there are 7 planetary systems which are below the earth, and 6 of them are above, including the abode of Lord Brahma. So this is just a very brief description on how this creation takes place. So, and beyond this, obviously, we have earth, water, elements, which are coverings of this universe: fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And we have to break through all of these to get out of this material universe. So, because this verse is speaking so much about destruction, I thought, we could speak about the 4 different types of destruction that take place. And this is primarily discussed in the 12th canto of Bhagavatam. Is also discussed a bit briefly in the 3rd canto and several other places. But in 12th canto, there's an entire chapter dedicated to this. So the first type of annihilation that takes place is what is mentioned in this verse itself. It is known as Prakritika Pralaya. So in Prakritika Pralaya is what happens. This whole universe is created, and when Lord Brahma's 100 years are finished and when they are done with, at that time, whatever process of creation that I just explained right now, everything starts working in the reverse order. Everything starts, it'll be explained properly in the coming verses also, but then there's like a huge fire that comes out from Anant Shesh. Anant Shesh is here, by the way, over here if you see below. There's a huge fire that comes out from Anant Shesh's mouth, and this fire burns up this whole universe. And then there is so much of rain from Samvarta clouds, and huge pillars and pillars of rain. They submerge this entire universe, and all the living entities, they leave their material bodies. And even Lord Brahma gives up his material body. And when Lord Brahma gives up his material body, this whole universe becomes unmanifest again. It goes back again into Mahavishnu. So this is known as Prakritika annihilation or Prakritika Pralaya. This is the complete annihilation of this whole universe. This is the first type of annihilation. There is a second type of annihilation known as Naimitika Pralaya. Okay, Naimitika Pralaya happens at the end of each day of Brahma. So you see over here, we are here, this Bhulok, there is a Bhuvarlok and there is a Swarglok. In Naimitika Pralaya, everything from Swarglok onwards till the end, till Patal, is destroyed. That is it, only this part is destroyed. And who survives this? Who survives this, by the way? This is survived only by great sages and rishis who are very high in their consciousness. So even they feel the little bit heat of this devastation. So they all the way they go to Tapolok and Satyalok. They go to Lord Brahma's lok during this time. This happens during the night of Lord Brahma, okay? And this happens every day for Lord Brahma. The creation is again takes place of all these lower planetary systems when the day of Lord Brahma starts, and it ends when Lord Brahma goes to sleep. This is a partial annihilation. Another very interesting annihilation that takes place is the called as the Nitya Pralaya. Nitya Pralaya means what? The annihilation that takes place every moment. Every moment as we are living, breathing, walking. This happens to all the material objects. That means it's going to happen even to our material body. Okay, because our body, our soul is eternal, but the body is material. Like for example, okay, let me just take this up. Can you please pass me that garland, please? Thank you, Manu. So we have this garland over here. I don't know. I wonder if you all can see me or what. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, you all can see me. Okay, fine. So this garland is over here. Now, this garland is yesterday's garland. I believe it was offered maybe to God Chandra. And now this garland has become a little bit shriveled, like a whole day has passed. If you come and see this garland tomorrow, it will again be even more shriveled. Right now, you can make out some colors. You know, there is light yellow, light pink, white, some green, some light orange also, it seems like there is there. Okay. I can't make out right now, though only just one day has passed. If you come and see this garland 10 days later, you will not even be able to make out what colors are there in this garland. Everything will become brown. Everything we know would have just been destroyed with time. This is the imperceptible nature of time. It destroys everything. So it is a pralaya, it is a kind of destruction which is happening every second. We can't perceive it, but it is happening. How our bodies are changing, it shows that time is passing. We were once children, and then we were once babies and toddlers, then children, and then we became teenagers and adults, and we set into go into middle age, and then old age, and then finally we become old and frail, and we give up this material body. This is how time works. So this is known as Nitya Pralaya. And then the Shastras talk about the last pralaya or the last type of destruction, which is known as Atyantika Pralaya. Atyantika Pralaya means that time when the soul gives up entirely its false ego and returns back to the spiritual world. It's a kind of a destruction. And this happens on a very individual level. It happens on more like a it happens only like it doesn't happen to everyone. Like this universe, everyone who's there in this universe will get, will ultimately go back to Mahavishnu. It happens on a more universal level. The next pralaya naimatika, as I said, the partial annihilation, it happens to some planets, some planetary systems. Nitya is happening to material bodies. But what Atyantika Pralaya happens, it happens on an individual level. It can happen while we are living in this universe. It can happen while we might have to take birth again in another universe once again. So that is when we give up our false ego. And I want to mention something about ego. Ego on its own terms is not a negative terminology. Okay, ego means some identity. I identify myself. So ego is divided into two. There is a real ego, as I mentioned earlier, and there is a false ego. The real ego tells me, or it makes me understand that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. This real ego is permanent. It can never ever be destroyed. False ego on the other level is divided into two parts again. There is a healthy ego and then there is an unhealthy ego. So while we are living in this material world, we need to have some sense of ego. I need to, when someone asks me who I am, I can't just say that, oh, I'm just no one, I'm just a spirit soul. Most people will not be able to understand what you're talking about. It's true, we are a spirit soul and we are caught in this, but that is not how we can function in this material world, at least while we have a material body. So some kind of healthy ego is required, stating that I am so and so's son, I'm so and so's daughter. I went to this college, or I work here. This is a kind of a healthy ego. When does this healthy ego become unhealthy? When I identify myself so much with these temporary designations that I start misidentifying myself solely based on that. And I start demeaning in my mind people who belong to other designations. Oh, you know what? I work in this high profile company, and you're working in just, this low little, you're having your own business. Yeah, I don't know how much you're earning. I earn so many, so many, so much, in so much dollars, millions of dollars, whatever, whatever. Or I belong to this nation. I'm so proud of it. Yeah, you belong to the other nation. Fine, whatever, misfortune. You know, like these are kind of unhealthy tendencies that crop up because of our identifying too much with these egos. And Atyantika Pralaya means giving up this whole false identification fully and completely and just realizing ourselves as the pure servant of Krishna. Now, see, whatever I'm saying this all might seem very theoretical and too heavy, but it is very important for us to understand these different kind of designations, because even Prabhupada in this purport, okay, wait, let me stop sharing this screen over here. And we will now speak about the second paragraph of our purport. What do the disciples of Srila Prabhupada say over here? Such technical arrangements for creation and annihilation, birth and death, do not exist in the eternal spiritual kingdom of God. In the spiritual sky, the variegated spiritual enjoyment of the Lord and his devotees is not hampered by the inferior cycles of birth, maintenance, and destruction found in this material world. So basically, the disciples they are talking about in this purport, they are talking about Atyantika liberation, the state we will get when we undergo this last liberation, when we finally reach the spiritual world. And this is what we are interested in. That is why it is important for us to know all these different kinds of destruction that take place. One might think that Bhagavatam, I can just hear stories of Krishna. It's just so nourishing. It's so nice. And it is true. It is very nourishing. It's very nice. It's pleasing, because we are able to relate to Krishna on a more sweet level, more lovable way. But the problem with maybe us conditioned souls, or at least like I can say for myself, is that to reach to that level where we can fully 100% relish Krishna's pastimes, we need to understand this material nature. We need to understand how fallible it is. We need to understand how scary it is. Like you just see this universe, the picture that I had shown earlier, that whole universe getting destroyed. It, going back to Mahavishnu, it's like, like whatever we understand, whatever identity we have, it is going to be destroyed. It's quite a scary thing. Like when I read about this for the first time several years ago, it was a pretty scary thing. Even this whole thing of creation is a pretty scary thing. Imagine a universe is coming out of the pores of Mahavishnu. Can you imagine how big Mahavishnu is? Even Arjun, we see in this pastime when Arjun is taken by Lord Krishna to Mahavishnu's abode to retrieve the sons of the Brahmin. He himself is scared. A pure devotee of Krishna, who Krishna himself has taken there, he himself is very scared seeing how big everything is, and he finds himself so small. He's like, he just wants to go away from there. And Krishna understands his mood and takes him back again, he takes him back again to Dwarka. So it's all very scary, and we should be scared. We should be scared of this material world. We should be scared on how Nitya Pralaya is happening day by day, minute by minute, second by second. Our material bodies are getting devastated. This is not an easy concept to understand. We don't realize it while we are living our day-to-day life, but this is happening whether we realize it or not, whether we like it or not. And even this whole Prakritika annihilation, Nemitika, partial annihilation, these all are important for us to know. And we see that even Maharaj Nimi in the second verse, he's saying that we are afflicted by wait, let me see if I can just share that verse now. Okay, where are we? Yeah, we are here. Chapter 3, verse 2. So here he is saying, although I'm drinking the nectar of your statements about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, my thirst is not yet satiated. Such nectarian descriptions of the Lord and devotees are actual medicine for conditioned souls like me who are tormented by the threefold miseries of material existence. Now, Maharaj Nimi is a very great devotee. He's understanding he's tormented by the threefold miseries and he's fearful of it. He's rightfully fearful of it, and that is why he's asking about Maya. And also, we see that again, why this whole thing about destruction comes, because this whole pastime of the Navayogendras meeting Maharaj Nimi is being told by Narad Muni to Vasudev, who is Krishna's father. And Krishna's father, Vasudev, is also a bit tensed and he's anxious because he understands that the Yadu dynasty has been cursed and very soon it's going to be annihilated. Even Krishna is going to soon leave this material manifestation and go back to the spiritual world. So definitely he's a bit anxious. And that is why Narad Muni, through these Navyogendra pastimes of Navyogendras, is explaining how fallible this material world is and how much we need to surrender to Krishna at every time. I personally want to get out of this Nitya Pralaya concept. I personally want this Atyantika liberation to happen soon so that I can give up all my material designations and eternally be situated in my real ego as the eternal servant of Krishna. This is how our thinking should be. And this is something we need to get into again and again. And once this is like clearly, firmly stuck in our mind, then relishing the pastimes of Krishna is too high. We'll be able to relish the pastimes of Krishna fully, 100%, all the time. 24/7 will not be enough for us. So yes, that is why all these descriptions are given in this great text of Bhagavatam, so that we continuously, little by little, give up our material designations, understand how scary destruction is, and take shelter of Krishna and his devotees again and again. So yeah, sorry, it was a very technical kind of a class today, but sometimes this is also needed. So I will end my class here, and I'm open to any questions, suggestions, corrections also. I see there is a question on the chat. Okay. Is false ego same as ahankar? If yes, is there an equivalent word for true ego? Oh, Krishnadaya Prabhu, you are actually the main scholar over here. But false ego, yes. Ahankar means just ego. Ahankar is ego. It encompasses real ego as well as false ego. So ahankar as such would not mean anything. I do not know if there is any word to specify what is true ego and false ego as such. If someone knows, then they can very well speak about it. Ahankar in the material world is primarily false, but ahankar, as I said, is not negative. Once it becomes false, it starts having negative connotations.
Mataji, I mean, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So the subtle is like man, buddhi, ahankar. So they have in the spiritual world, they're all positive. Because the very nature of the meaning of ahankar is like I am the doer, right? Aham karta.
That is a false ego manifestation of it, that
Okay.
I am the doer.
Okay.
Ahankar on its own is neither good nor bad.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm the doer. Ahankar just means a sense of identification, a sense of identity. I am. Then the real ego means, or the real ego part of this ahankar means that I am a servant of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna.
Yeah.
And the false ego, ahankar, when it becomes material, it takes on the nature of I am the doer, I am the cause of all causes, I am doing this, that, everything, I am the master creator, whatever. And mind and intelligence are subtle material elements. They do not exist in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Right now, in this material world, we just have to purify our mind and intelligence so that it completely surrenders to Krishna. What goes back in the material, what goes back to the spiritual world is only the soul.
Yeah. So ahankar also doesn't go to spiritual world, right?
No.
Okay.
The false ego part never goes to the spiritual world. The real ego, which is intrinsic part of the soul, goes back to the spiritual world.
Yeah.
The real ego is called Jiva, isn't it?
The real ego is what? Sorry?
It's called Jiva, isn't it? And then Jiva is covered by
Jiva is the soul.
Jiva is
Jiva is the
Atma.
soul. So there is the chit, what do you call? There is a Sat Chit Anand. Okay, so the chit, that is the knowledge potency. The knowledge that we are the, so Sat Chit Anand is what the soul is made of. Okay, by the way, I'm telling you what is the nature of the soul. So the chit, as rightly pointed out by Manohar Prabhu here, that is gives us the real knowledge of the real ego to us, that we are the eternal servant of Krishna. So this chit, which gives us a true identification, is what carries us to the spiritual world, and that is always there in the spiritual world with us. When we go back to Krishna, this chit will be there with us. There is another form of chit known as Maya, and that is what covers us, and that is what gives us the false ego. Maya Shakti, as they call it, what we are discussing about right now.
Yes, yeah, it makes sense. Like in the spiritual world, so it's only Satchitananda. Yeah,
it's only pure Satchitanand. Yeah. So in fact, I believe there is, there was once, I don't know, but I believe I had heard a reference, a very interesting reference actually, that our Paramatma is a form of Shirodakshay Vishnu. Again, I don't want to get into too technical, but the Paramatma is a form of Lord Vishnu who is always residing with us while we are in this material world. So the Paramatma concept is only for the material world, by the way. In the spiritual world, there is only Bhagavan. I'm talking about the planets which are above Brahma Jyoti, where the Brahman aspect is there. I'm talking about the spiritual world where Lord Vishnu is there. The different Vaikuntha planets are there. There only the Bhagavan concept exists. The Paramatma concept is part of this material world. So when a soul gets, undergoes Atyantika Pralaya, that is when he's finally liberated from all these false designations, the soul goes back to the spiritual world. The Paramatma goes back into Shirodakshay Vishnu.
Yeah.
It goes back again from where it came.
Correct. Yeah, that's true, Mataji. Yeah, so when we are leaving, so all these even material things go into each of those layers. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's true. Yeah.
Basically, how the creation takes place, everything happens in the reverse order. Like how the material world, first Ahankar comes, and then, then our Buddhi comes, and then the Manas, then Sattva Manas comes. Then all these elements are created, earth, water, fire. Even in the picture, we saw that there are coverings of earth, and 10 times bigger than there is water, and bigger than there is fire. So all these break in the reverse order. After Lord Brahma is himself annihilated, then earth is destroyed first, the elemental earth, which is a covering in this material, and then water goes, then fire goes, and then, one by one, then finally the last one to go is Ahankar.
Yeah.
Yes, Sundaranand Prabhu has a question.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Radhika Devi. This was a very, very well done class in terms of the technical content. I have a question. So similar to what you just said, what happens at the time of death then, when we're passing from one body to another? What happens to Paramatma at that point? Because we know from the 5th canto the descriptions of the hellish planets. Does the Paramatma continue to travel with the soul on all its journeys through the various transitions?
Yes, the Paramatma will always be with us. See, when we go to the hellish planets now, it's not that we are just as a soul there. We get a body known as Yatna Sharir. Okay, we get a different type of material body which we cannot understand right now because we are only used to a body made of earth. But when we go to the hellish planets, we get a body, a material body, which will be able to handle all the insane amount of suffering that we are supposed to get in these hellish planets. Like, being thrown off from the cliff again and again, being burnt in hot oil and everything. If we go in our human body, we're going to die. But that Yatna Sharir always survives. Again and again, it stays alive even after being boiled in that hot oil. And again, it comes back again to suffer again. So while the soul is undergoing all these things in that Yatna Sharir, the Paramatma is also there, making him realize the mistakes he has done and because of which he's suffering, and again guiding him again and again to take shelter of Krishna. The Paramatma only leaves you once Atyatmika Pralaya happens. Once you actually go back to the spiritual world, only at that time Paramatma will leave. Paramatma otherwise never leaves you. Krishna will never ever leave you alone. He is there. He is there the moment you enter this material creation, and he will only leave once you are out of it fully.
I see. Thank you so much, Nandini Radhika Devi. You should probably start a course on the practical aspects of the Bhagavatam, and would love to sign up if you do. Hare Krishna.
My God, I don't know. There are many great scholars out over there. Maybe they should be giving this. But thank you. That is a very encouraging thing for me.
Thank you. There's one spirit soul that has survived multiple annihilations and somehow or other ended up in the same pradhana with us. Her name is Jamuna Jaya. She has very little false ego left. Mostly true ego is what we're dealing with. Jamuna Jaya, are you here? It's her birthday today. We'd like to glorify Jamuna Jaya, and we will fast for it today.
Wish you a very happy Krishna
Fast till breakfast, yes.
Clearance Day.
Thank you. Happy to spend so much of my year with you guys, and happy to begin my birthday with you. And thank you so much for that wonderful class. I love that last point, that Krishna's always with us to the end. He's with us to the end. So thank you so much. Oh, thanks for everything, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have 1 minute left, and okay, I see even Janita Prabhu is now ready with the conch. If there are any more questions, we can discuss them after the class. If there are any, I don't know.
I have a
But as
question for Jamuna Jaya. Jamuna Jaya,
yes,
how can we
we will do
become
that.
more like you?
Okay, I need to end the class right now over here formally. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jamuna Jaya, that's a cliffhanger. We still want the. Thank you, Manohar Prabhu, for facilitating the darshan. Can't see anything. Just as I said, thank you. Okay. Unmute, Bhakti Center, unmute, please. Thank you.
Jai Shri Radha Vilas.
Govinda, Hari Krishna, Mahabharata, Venu Mahabharata, Govinda, Hari Krishna, Govinda, Hari Krishna, Govinda, Hari Krishna, Shriya Priti Bhakti Vashanti Kanti Kayanti Hiram Jaganti Anurasi Parasadu Govinda Hari Krishna Mahabharata, Govinda Hari Krishna Mahabharata, Govinda Hari Krishna Namah Bhajami Govinda Hare 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 Krishna Namah Bhajami
Jai. Bow down to the great awe and reverence. By His grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering, obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is that my Christ is you, and present in me. Attachment to His love receives perfection, fills all my eyes. Look into my dark eyes and fill to my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From His guided I am ignorant as His will. Vedic scriptures sing their after. My spiritual master is the ocean of mercy. Lord of Master, with these. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spoken of the three worlds. Take shelter at your lotus feet.
Thank you, Janet. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. So during the Afterglow, we are only glorifying Jamuna Jaya. I'm not speaking about anything else.
No. Don't do that. Speak about Krishna.
Jamuna Jaya. How can you? What's the source of your faith? Where do you get your faith from, Jamuna Jaya?
Somebody, who asked me that once, Mother Rukmini Walker. And there's a song that we used to sing when we were kids. And I think this sums it up. It said, this joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. So it's not my joy, it's not my smile, it's Krishna's. The world didn't give it to me, Krishna gave it to me. So just hold up a mirror to all the great souls. And yeah. And
Jamuna
faith.
Jaya is a true a bundle of joy for the Bhakti Center.
Thank you.
It's, happy birthday to Jamuna Jaya. Hope you have
Thank
a great,
you.
successful, and happy year ahead.
Thank you.
Jamuna Jaya, happy birthday. You're such a gift to our community, and to me personally, I look up to you, and I want to be like you. Thank you so much for sharing the joy that wasn't given to you with us. It's
Thank you.
really, really
Okay.
valuable. Thank you, Krishna, for Jamuna Jaya.
I'm just thankful to the community. Thank you to the practices. They say that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. And so I'm happy that I get to spend so much time. And the joy of my birthday is it's a Tuesday, so that's my night on the altar anyway. So I will get to spend my birthday serving the Lord's directly tonight. So that will be a really wonderful way to spend your birthday. So, but it was really interesting talking about the physical annihilation when she was talking about that. That's a great thing to talk about on your birthday because I mean it literally is true. I look at my face, I'm like, that's not the face I had 10 years ago. It's not. It's coming. It's here. So, Nandini, Radhika, as you were saying, I'm like, yeah, that's a good one to hear on my birthday. That literally the destruction is happening in real time. And oh, I do see it. So thank you for that reminder, and thank everybody for birthday blessings. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Jamuna Jaya.
Happy
Okay.
birthday, Jamna Jaya.
Thank you.
You know how people say, how did you meet the devotee? When did you meet the devotee? You know, to speak about how we, discover Krishna. And then Jamna Jaya is that person for me. So I'm always thankful for you. Thank you. Happy birthday.
How did that happen, Jamuna Jaya? Amrita Kishore.
I
She
believe
was
she
my
came
first
into my,
yoga class. Yeah.
yeah, she came into yoga class. Thank you, Marichi Kushari.
All right, Jamuna Jaya. See, we were right about you. You're teaching so much more than Top Dog and all those postures. So much more. Yeah. Okay. Karen, Annabelle, Isaiah, can you recite Hare Krishna and also Happy Birthday? Or maybe Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the Happy Birthday tune? And Sage, please. If you know the Happy Birthday tune, please recite the Mahamantra to the Happy Birthday tune.
Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. That was the
Happy
best
birthday.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna
very much for
birthday
today.
ever.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much for today. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sadhvi. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, thank you for taking birth with us in the same yuga, in the same soup, in the same pradhana. We're so happy to be with you.
The kitchery.
Yeah, in the same kitchery. Yeah, that's right. Cosmic kitchery. Jai. Okay. Hare Krishna, Nandini, Radhika. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wish you a very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Jamuna Jai. As you know, we
Thank
sing the
you.
song, may you never take birth again. So if even Nitya Pralaya happening, it's okay. As long as Atyantika Pralaya happens, that's good. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.